Welcome, one and all, to the K.O.E. Nation for another premium spirits review. Here today, we are going to get into Glenlivet, a very special one. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E., joined by my indomitable broadcast partner,
the elated Blendmaster, Tony G. Like, share, subscribe. I am so damn excited. Oh, cannot wait. The Glenlivet Captains Reserve. This one is one that I have been looking for ever since I was made aware of its existence. And here it is. Oh, my God. The Glenlivet Founders Reserve was one that I went into because I've become very familiar with the Glenlivet 12-year. The Founders Reserve was on sale, and
satisfying.
Very. The Founders Reserve I found on sale after becoming very familiar with the 12. It gets a lot of flack, but I really enjoy the 12-year and the Founders Reserve. I've got a bottle of the Caribbean Reserve. It's not bad. It's not bad. But this could be something special, folks. Ooh, yeah. Pretty damn excited. Oh, just, yeah. Presentable. 100% presentable. For the price.
Again, Europe.
Yeah, this did not come from the States. I have not seen it in the States. I've not seen anybody acquire it.
70 centiliter bottle. I doubt it's even available in the States.
Excellent. So I'm one of the only ones that has it in my possession.
Definitely in the state.
That makes me feel happy. What do we... I'm just so excited.
He's been waiting for this for a while.
Here's something different. A whiskey inspired by the unique character of its namesake, Captain William, which will take you on a journey from the misty glens of Scottish Speyside to the heart of the Cognac region in France with every sip. The captain, as everybody's loved to call him, was an ambitious and determined man who was fighting in France during World War I when he inherited the Glenlivet distillery. A good reason why Captain's Reserve is finished in cognac cask, uniting its raisin-rich honey and spicy notes with the smooth citrus flavors of the Glenlivet's distinctive Speyside style. Savor this special whiskey just as we would. Unhurried. Oh. Cognac cask finish, folks. This is going to be amazing.
I'm getting, well, I'll let you get your first nose before I tell you what I'm getting, but you definitely get the cognac.
Oh,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm also getting a cherry brandy.
Is there any scotch in this?
A cherry brandy and a apricot brandy, which my only experience with apricot brandy is a couple of the classic cocktails call for it. So that's
I can't disagree with any of that. And just a hint of the typical Glenlivet honey, which is expected.
Now, you have no idea how much I am hoping this does not do a Macallan, where the Macallan will have an amazingly beautiful nose, but the palate just never quite lives up to it. So
you're allowed to be wrong.
No, what I'm saying is that the nose is always just like a poem or a song or like a great telling of a sunset on the most beautiful day that the earth ever was. And the palate just can't quite reach that.
I think you're right with the 12-year double cast, but with the 15-year triple cast, no, palate matched up perfectly with the nose.
The palate gets better. The problem is, Tony, and I know this is a weird one, the nose just scales up so much better as well. But, all right,
why are we talking about the Macallan when we have the Captain's Reserve, Glenlivet, here?
Because
right
it has such an amazing nose, and I'm praying, oh, please let the palate
You're right.
match.
It has all the cognac notes, but it has the thickness on your nose of brandy. You're right.
I know, so I'm just like, Lord, please let this match. So, T, let's see. And again, I'm comparing it to high-end Macallan, so come on now.
Well, that's Highland to Space.
Wow, there's a lot of brandy in there.
Oh. On the finish, brandy. Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
I'm almost
On
wondering,
the front, the cognac and the honey.
in a bourbon cask, there'll be about 2 liters of liquid actually in the wood soaked up. I'm actually wondering if in a brandy cask there's more.
Yeah.
Because this just infuses so much more. Like, this is...
Coffee.
Like, the grain is the reason
Oh my
why
God.
I would say this is a Scotch, is there's such a graininess to it, but there's so many flavors of cognacs and brandies. Like I said, there's a lot of cherry brandy. Like, it's not even necessarily like cognac, but just like a cherry brandy, a touch of apricot brandy.
The echo on your throat. Very thick coffee flavor. That I'm really enjoying. Oh my God. I'm gonna go ahead and...
I don't get coffee until oxygen hits my mouth.
Yeah.
When I open it and the oxygen hits...
With like the Macallan, you'd get that minty explosion once the oxygen hits. For me, it's that coffee intensity.
Like, to me, it's like, especially
I love
discovering
that.
some of these whiskeys, that's when I discovered the chemical reaction difference when you open your mouth and oxygen hits it. And this is one that really activates that.
Sweet and fruity aromas of honey and apricot jam, with notes of cinnamon bread and a subtle sensation of spicy licorice. On the palate, succulent flavors of mandarins and syrup, ripe poached pears, and chocolate-dipped raisins. And the finish, incredibly smooth and luscious, which I'm going to agree with because I really like this from front, middle, and end.
That's supposed to mean, though. But, like,
You're allowed to interpret that as you'd like.
I'm just going to be honest with you that this is, when I smell it, first thought is cherry brandy. When I taste it, my first thought is, a Scotch cognac. I'm not getting a lot of the fruit, and I don't know what a spicy licorice is supposed to be.
Sounds intriguing, though.
Well, more things to explore, folks. But now we move on, Tony, to the grading of Glenlivet as a Captain's Reserve. So, we're going to grade this on 3 5-star scales. It's shelving, and then the secret 5th question. So, Tony, as a single malt Scotch, 5 stars. 1 half-star being meh, 5 stars being you must get your hands on and try it before you shuffle off this mortal coil and leave this earth. How'd you rate it?
4.5.
Okay, Tony definitely needed to try this before he shuffled off this mortal coil. I like this.
I know you're not going to 4.5 like it, though.
No. And, again, it's one of those, with a French cognac casking, if you're one of those Scotch single malt purists. Why, that's not a peated single malt that didn't touch a cask from anything,
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to give it 3.75. But we'll get there.
I may have got a
You
lot.
might be a little happy.
Mostly just to get your reaction. No, in all honesty, I'm going to go 4.
Okay, that's a little more. No, I figured this guy really loves his space sides.
I do.
This is a fine space side. This is one of the better space sides I've had. Like, this stacks up against even Glenfiddich's and other. Boy, I am just name dropping every other distillery in
Except
Scotland.
Glenlivet.
Glenlivet.
Thanks.
Buy it. So I've made up for it. But yeah, this is just quintessential space side. Which, if we were grading it as a space side, it'd be a lot higher. But it's not quite a 5-star space side.
Right.
But it's getting close. In terms of Scotch whiskey,
3.75. It's light, it's crisp. I love every flavor and aroma that's coming out of this, and the finish is just immaculate to me. But I understand I'm probably, for one, I'm fanboying out a little bit, and 2, this is probably just really in my wheelhouse. I can understand why this wouldn't appeal to a broader crowd.
Yes, and that's why I'm also going to agree with you, but for entirely different reasons. 375. This is a very niche Scotch.
Yes.
But this would also be one to introduce to somebody who's not really into Scotch. And you think you might be able to bring them in. The brandy casking will be so different that they'll be like, this is a Scotch? What are you talking about? Like, I was at Christmas, and I brought a Scotch over, and it was a non-peated, it was a sherry-finished Scotch, it was a dull one. Big shot. And distant relation, no, I don't drink Scotch, that's too smoky. I'm like, no, good sir, you know not what you speak of. So, this would be an excellent one to bring somebody like that over. So I'm going to give it 375 as a Scotch. Now, as a whiskey, it's putting it up against a very wide world.
Like, honestly, I'm torn between grading it low and grading it very high.
And why for each?
Because it's so unique. It's so unique as a whiskey. I think that it speaks to everything I like about a Speyside, but at the same time, it's not what you would expect out of a whiskey, so I'm gonna go 3.5.
I'm gonna disagree with you, but only just. I'm gonna stick with 375.
Okay.
This is one of those whiskeys that it just stays at the 375 level, no matter how you want to look at it. It's a 375 star whiskey. It just, in my opinion, it's almost 4 stars.
I could do this tasting again, and my ratings could be completely reversed the other way for the exact same reasons. So it's unique.
That is a sign of a complex whiskey.
I think, and I think, to be fair, this is one of the more complex from the Glenlivet. There's no age statement here, of course, but the casking and the flavor palette, this is marvelous.
So, all right, this might start a fight. Shelving.
Well, you're not going to put it on top, but I am.
I'm probably not. It will proudly sit on my middle shelf right by the Johnny Walker Blue Label and all the other stuff. A different Scotch kind of knocked that down. What can I say?
No, that's fair.
But I am going to, it will be a middle. It'll be top if I have room, but that's going to be a while. So that's a different issue entirely. But yes, if I had more room, I'd put it on my top shelf. But for now, it would sit on my middle shelf if it was my bottle. Okay. Now,
to be completely fair, I have a bottle of the Caribbean Reserve on my top shelf because it was the only bottle of Glenlivet that I had currently. That's moving down because now it can. This will be taking its spot on the top shelf.
Well. So Tony, what did this cost USD?
This was $40-ish.
$40-ish. That's actually a really good deal.
Yeah.
For what you're getting here.
And once it does hit States, I would expect to see it between 25 and 35.
Are you sure it's ever going to with a 70 centiliter bottle?
I think you'll see it in the standard liter bottle soon enough.
Are you sure this wasn't a travel exclusive?
Not 100%, but I don't think it's made its way here yet.
Well, we shall see what happens.
I do hope this
in
becomes
the future, folks.
More readily available because this is one that I will be seeking out again once this is empty.
Yes, but if you do find one, I'd say pick it up. It's a hell of a deal. It's a steal.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to find a bottle of this for around 40, yes, I would definitely pick that up. It would be an excellent go-to whiskey, and knowing what I know now about its cost, might even go in a mixer or two. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
No, that's fair. I think you could do that with this and not be offended. If it was more readily available, I would definitely be willing to play around with it because flavor profile alone allows you to play.
Ah, yes. Well, folks, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, this has been our review of Glenlivet Captains Reserve. This has been an amazing, amazing single malt Scotch. I quite surprised. I thought this was just going to be kind of standard fare, but it way exceeded expectations. I am your King of Extreme, Phil K.O.E., signing off and handing it off to my phenomenal broadcast partner.
The excited, the happy, the blend master, Tony G. Thank you much.